Facebook Live. It is indeed a blessing um, to be here with you. And I also want to give recognition to those that join me on the replay from YouTube or SoundCloud. I am your host tonight, Tricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. If you haven't already had an opportunity to go to my website, you can go to my website, find my website at www.triciabraysmith.weebly.com. Tonight we're going to be talking about who is leading you. Who is leading you? Now, I'm not getting into all the political things and the protests and the different things that are going around our nation, but I am here to use this platform to educate, empower, and encourage each one of you for whatever direction you see fit to support your community and for your family's legacy. If you haven't already got a chance to get a copy of my new book, Time to Talk, in chapter 1, it opens up talking about leadership. And so if you have questions regarding the topic tonight, who is leading you, Time to Talk will be a valuable resource to you to help you determine whether or not the leadership you are following or that you study under, whether or not it is efficient leadership. So tonight I just want to touch briefly on the topic, who is leading you, because as I surf through social media today, I find that there are all variations of protest and not only protests, but I've seen some riots and getting all kind of emotional pulls through our media platforms, not only social media, but when you also add television into the mix with the CNN news and the various news stations and things like that, we know that leadership plays a role in the type of activism that is going on throughout our nation, guys. So I know that there is a lot of anger. I know that there is a lot of frustration, people desiring answers, and I also know that there is a lot of fear that is being projected in our nation as we speak. So just because it's nighttime and we're in the comfort of our home does not mean that everybody is so. Okay? And that has a lot to do with leadership. The person who you follow, or the person who you study under, the person who you esteem worthy of you learning from their platform. So as you guys are joining in and logging on tonight, please go ahead and like and share this video so that others can share in the conversation tonight with us as well. Who is leading you? And that's so important. It's easier for us to answer this question when it relates to a religious organization or a religious platform. And it may even be easier to answer that question when it relates to an educational institution or an educational organization. But what we're dealing with now, when we look through media, the leaders that are springing up today and in the days to come take the role mostly of a more political aspect, or more of a political platform. And it's because the events that have happened in our nation as it regards to some say racism, some say police abusing their authority and in their power in the job or in the workforce. So there are so many different reasons for what it is that you see in your media outlets today. Okay, and it can cause an overwhelming amount of confusion. But the question that comes to my mind when I see all these different streams of awareness, because at the end of the day, that is what it is. It's all about awareness and people allowing their voices to be heard. And I am all for that. We just had a whole series on not sitting in silence and letting our voice be heard. At the same time, we cannot be so consumed or so lost in our own frustrations that we find ourselves following behind people who are leading a cause that are operating and feeding and manipulating our emotions. Now, that's where the grounds of leadership cross the line. Okay? That is where I draw the line. Okay? When you have a person in a place of influence and a person in a place of power that gets their fuel from the emotions and the frustrations of the followers or the students, so to speak, because I don't go for the following thing. I'm for that. I want you with the mindset to be a student of learning, a student of learning. That's the mindset I like for you guys to be in. Don't follow someone, because if you're a follower, you're just gonna trail along wherever they lead you. But if you're a student of learning, you'll take what they're leading you to, and you'll be persuaded by your own mind. You're able to still make decisions and judgments based on what's good for you. Okay, so, but when we have people in these platforms feeding off the emotions of and the frustrations of the people that they are influencing, it becomes then a dangerous game. Now, if they are leading a cause that you believe in, and you believe that that is the answer for you, the way that they lead that cause, then that leadership is for you. Okay? Because they're not manipulating your emotions. They're not making you or influencing you to do anything out of character that you would normally do. Okay? So you must be careful and be wise in who is leading you into these places. Because for me, I can't follow someone who's ready to go on the front line in a way that I don't agree with how they're approaching the situation. Because to me, their vision is not as clear as I like it to be. I still have questions. I want to know, why is burning down a store, or why is tearing up my community the answer for what we're dealing with? See, I have a problem with that. Now, I believe in going to war. Don't get me wrong. I believe in fighting for a cause. But I have to be certain on what war am I fighting, and I have to be more certain on what's the cause. What are we trying to accomplish by the tactics that we're using? And see, what is happening is we're going out to support a cause, following behind people or following behind leadership, and we have no idea what their agenda is. Okay, so all we're doing is showing up. We don't know the agenda, and that's where we find ourselves in a dangerous situation, guys. And where it's going to lead us is into a community of hatred and war that is going on, and we're going to wake up and we don't even realize where it came from. Because if the leaders are leading you into a place that's creating something worse than the issues that we're trying to combat, then that altogether is a problem by itself. So my question is, what is the real issue we're fighting? Okay, we know the situations that have gone on in our communities, but when you join a cause, when you choose to join people in leadership to stand up and allow your voice to be heard, where does your values line up with theirs? And do you even know? Otherwise, you're following someone that is leading you into the war zone and you're not prepared for battle. So then when you go to war and you're not prepared for battle, then that creates more chaos. Not only for your community, but even more intimately, your life. So think about who is leading you. Do their character and their values line up with yours? Or are they fighting, or are they standing in awareness for the issues that concern you? Or do they have a underlined agenda? Okay? Because remember that people in leadership, you see them, but a lot of times you don't see the entourage around them. And you don't know what somebody's been pepped up to do. And you don't know what kind of agenda they have. You can assume. But a lot of times you don't know what kind of agenda they have unless it's been voiced to you. And a lot of times we're going out to be nosy. Let's just be real about it. Some of us are going out to be nosy. Others are going out because they know the leadership and they believe in the leadership and the awareness and the campaign that they're running, and the awareness that they're drawing reflects that of their character. So what do you do when you find yourself in the crossfire of a situation that you didn't sign up for or that you're not ready for? And that's where you have to take into account when you are using your voice to speak on these things. Does the leadership's values and the direction of their leadership line up with what you believe? And if it don't, let me suggest you stay at home. Because one thing that I do know, when you go in blind, you can set yourself up for a dangerous situation. Now, one thing I believe, and I don't care who's leading these movements, is that somebody holds the answer to the questions we have. Whatever your questions are, somebody holds the answer to the questions that we have. Okay? Now, there are all dynamics of leadership. More burning of buildings and burning of neighborhoods and looting, that's sending a message. But we have to question, is that the right message that we're sending? Or is that just poor leadership? Is that just somebody feeding from the fuel of the vulnerability and manipulation and emotions and frustration of people who are just allowing anything to string them along? Do you know if our issues in our community are with the owners of these franchises or with these restaurants or with these businesses? Do you know that if our issue lies there, we don't have to go burn down a building? We don't have to destroy our communities. We don't have to penetrate our residences and have people inside living in fear. If you really want to impact change, and if that's really where your problem is, do you know that all you have to do is keep your money in your pocket? Simple as that. Stop shopping there. Stop eating there. Stop going there. Stop entertaining and desiring the things that they want, that they have for you. Because at the end of the day, you're the one keeping them in business. You're the one that's spending money. So if your problem is with that establishment, if you want to make an impact greater than burning things down and destroying your community and creating chaos, stop spending your money. Simple as that. That's leadership. That's leadership. And it didn't hurt anybody. It didn't put anybody in danger. Because I guarantee if you stop putting money in that place, if you stop supporting that establishment, eventually they're going to move on around. But you do that, and then you take and loot and all that's going on. That's an underlying agenda, and it's poor leadership. I'll lead you to war, but greater than leading you to war, I'm also, as a leader, as an efficient leader, I'm going to have to tell you how to fight this war. I'm going to have to teach you how to fight the war. You don't lead people in blind, and then you just got chaos all over the place, and then everything's just gone haywire. People in danger, people stuck in their house in fear. That's poor leadership. So before you go out supporting a cause, know who's leading the cause, guys. Know what their vision is. Know what kind of answers that they're trying to give. Know what their tactics are for fighting the cause or to draw awareness for the cause. And be careful, because at the end of the day, I'm looking at all these people gathered together, and it's like they have forgotten that we have an invisible issue that is still going on. Yes, I'm talking about COVID. Don't you know that everybody out in the communities aren't healthy? Their immune systems aren't healthy. Some of them have airborne sickness and disease. You're out touching hands and other things like that. You don't know what they done pissed on their fingers and whatever else touching you. Out there just footloose and fancy free. Okay? So guys, we have to be wise. And I know all of you ain't gonna agree, and that's one thing about this platform. You never have to agree. You listen to my perspective and you form your own opinion about things. This is my perspective. You form your own opinion, and that's what makes us all so great. But it frustrates me that we are destroying community, burning down stuff, harming one another, following a leadership that we don't even know what war we're really fighting. Now, if we're going to draw awareness and go to war, first we need to know what we're going to war for. What cause that are we really fighting for? That's number one. So if you're following a leader that hadn't gave you that first, then that's poor leadership. Now, we've seen some great demonstrations and some great campaigns that went forth, and it was peaceful, and whatever that they set out to do, they felt as if it was accomplished. Okay, that's a better form of leadership. So if what you set out to do, you accomplished that, and the vision was clear amongst people, and you still were able to take the necessary precautions for yourself, then that's a better leadership. But I'm telling you guys, listen to me. If there is an issue or a cause that you want to greatly impact, think about the root of it. And that little green piece of paper, and this just happened to be sitting here. This little green piece of paper right here. This is your most powerful weapon. Because the people you out there fighting against, they love this little piece of paper right here. This little piece of paper is a whole lot of reason why we got the issues throughout our nation the way we do. Let me show it to you again. This little piece of paper right here, this little green piece of paper, holds a lot of power. Now, when you learn how to use this right here to your advantage, and stop spending it sending their kids to school, stop spending it keeping them rich, and learn how to apply it to your own community and your own small businesses and your own mom and pop shops, that's when you make the greatest impact. That's when you let your voice be heard. But we want to go and burn that stuff down, and you can't beat us tomorrow surfing the net, going to their website, buying stuff from them. Lies. We full of lies. Because we did something on an impulse, following leadership that didn't have a clear agenda, and we find ourselves doing ourselves more harm as a whole than getting the answers that we say we seeking. So think about it. What cause has you all bothered? What are you really fighting for? And what leadership are you allowing to lead you? And that's a question we all need to ask ourselves. And then once you can find the answers to that, then my next question to you is, now what you going to do about it? Because I still believe that leaders have shown up, but the real leaders are yet to manifest. I believe that in the coming days, they are coming, because they have to fix all the chaos that all this ratchet leadership has caused, or all this ratchet leadership has created. A real leader will never make a move without a plan. And judging from the mess that I've seen, and I don't care what color of skin it has, because pointing the finger is not going to do it. Don't matter what color skin it have. Poor leadership is poor leadership. And the real leaders are not going to move without a clear vision and preparation for war, because you never know what's going to become of it. But you can best believe who's ever following them is going to be clear on the actions and the cause that they stand for. So consider tonight and in the days to come, who is leading you? I appreciate you taking out the time to join me tonight. I appreciate you sacrificing so much of your time every night to be here with me. I do hope that you feel as though tonight's discussion has been beneficial for you. Don't forget, if you do not understand leadership, in my book, Time to Talk, leadership is chapter 1. Because I feel like leadership and understanding what true, authentic leadership is so important for you to make informed decisions, especially in the days to come. So don't go out just following any kind of leadership and not really understand the components of what true, authentic leadership really is. Because there is a difference, guys. And I tell you what, if you have to go to war, you do not want to go to war unequipped for the battle that's ahead. So take time to go to my website. I put it there in the comments for you. Click on it, go to my books and resources, and all you have to do is click on the book that best meets your needs, guys. So I appreciate you joining me tonight. I'll be right back here again tomorrow night at 10 p.m. for another night of Facebook Live. Good night, everybody.